go to you. You had Russian sanctions?
So the Treasury Department announced that it was sanctioning a few additional Russian businessmen and also some Russian companies, Russian and quote-unquote Crimean companies, over Russia's actions, the annexation of Crimea and the violence in Ukraine. The Russian deputy foreign minister has responded and said these are ungrounded hostile acts by a departing administration. Would you, first of all, what's your response to his comments?
I haven't seen those comments. Obviously, if that's what he said, we would strongly disagree and differ with that. This isn't about, this decision by the Treasury Department had nothing to do with the time on the clock. It had everything to do with Russia's activities and support for the separatists in Ukraine and for their occupation of Crimea. That's what it had to do with. It had to do with Russia's actions. It had to do with holding Russia accountable for its violation of Ukrainian territorial integrity and sovereignty. That's what it had to do with. It had nothing to do with the calendar.
Mm-hmm. And then, given that the incoming administration, both the president-elect has expressed willingness to improve relations with Russia, his nominee for U.S. Secretary of State has opposed past sanctions on Russia over Crimea. What would you say would be the effectiveness of these actions, given that it seems likely that they will be reversed under your successor?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know how we can know that for sure, June. I mean, the next administration will obviously have to make their own decisions about this. We hope that they will come to see the wisdom in not conducting business as usual with Russia, given their continued activities. As I said, just in my opening statement, the recent violence here in eastern Ukraine just over the last couple of days. We would hope that they would see the wisdom in keeping these sanctions and this pressure on Russia, because we have seen it have an effect. But obviously these are decisions they have to make, and we also respect that process as well. So I can't speak for what they might or might not do. I can only speak for what we believe is the right thing to do, and you saw the Treasury's decisions today as an extension, a manifestation of that. But it's not just us. I mean, the EU also just recently rolled over sanctions as well. It's not just the United States here that views with alarm what Russia continues to do in Ukraine and in Crimea. So again, the only last thing I'd say is that we will share whatever context and whatever information the new administration, might require with respect to those kinds of decisions going forward.
And then just one more follow-up on that. I know you haven't seen these comments, but the Russian deputy foreign minister also said that Russia will expand its sanctions lists against the United States, and we, quote, retain the right to choose the time, place, and form of our responsive actions in a way that suits us. What would be your response to, those sanctions and those, whatever measures that they might take in response?
Well, let's see what they do. I mean, let's see what they do. I mean, obviously, as a sovereign country, they can enact unilateral sanctions if they so choose. But I think I don't think commenting now on speculative threats and like that is really going to be very productive. Yeah. Wait, are we done on Russia?